Hello, Year 3, welcome back. Today we are learning about skeletons. Woo! But actually, we're not learning about scary skeletons. Because actually, skeletons are a very normal part of the body of animals, lots of animals, including humans. Humans and some other animals have skeletons and muscles. But why is that? Why do we have skeletons? What would happen if we didn't have a skeleton? What do you think? Well, skeletons and muscles provide support, protection, and movement for humans and some other animals. And that's what we're going to be talking about more today. So the first thing is that skeletons can provide protection. So a part of the body like the skull, which we find inside our head, is like a helmet. That's the same for humans as well as some other animals too. What about the rib cage, the bit around your middle? You can see it in the picture of this skeleton just next to its upper arms. Well, the rib cage is there to protect the heart and the lungs. So by protecting them, the skeleton is there to keep parts of our body safe. Now, whose skeleton belongs to who? Whose skeleton is that first one? Ooh, is that one a dog? What do you think? Which one is the fish? Should be able to guess that one. Sure, this is way too easy for you. And there are your answers. I'm sure you got those all right. Another thing that skeletons can do is provide support. One of the functions of a skeleton is to support the body of humans and some other animals. What do you think would happen if you had no bones at all in your body? Imagine if there were no bones in your hand. Would you be able to pick up a pencil? Would you be able to open a door? Which part of the skeleton keeps your body upright? Do you know? The long part running all the way down your back is called the spine. That is what helps you keep your body upright. And the third thing that skeletons can do is provide movement. Without joints connecting our bones, we would not be able to move the way we do. We wouldn't be able to bend, to jump, or to skip. There are 3 different types of joints in the body. So the first type is the ball and socket. Ball and socket joints allow the most freedom of movement. One example in the human skeleton is between the pelvis, which is our hip, and the femur, which is the upper leg bone. Have a go with your leg now. If you move your upper leg around, you can feel that it allows you to move in different directions. You can move up, you can move down, left and right, all around. That's because that is a ball and socket joint. Another type is the hinge. Hinge joints allow flex and extend movements. One example in the human skeleton is between the humerus and which is the upper arm, and the radius, which is the lower arm. So if you take your arm and you bend your arm forwards and back, you can see it's a bit like a hinge that you'd find in a doorway. So you're opening the door, that's a hinge, and as you fold this part, the lower arm back and forwards, you can do that because of your hinge joint. And the third type is called a gliding joint. Gliding joints are bones that are shaped to glide, meaning to slide, over one another and allow for small, limited movements in different directions. One example in the human skeleton is the wrist bones. So that, in your wrist, is an example of a gliding joint. So what, again, are the three purposes of a skeleton? Do you remember? One is for protection, like the way our, what's this called, this bone in our head? The way the skull protects our brain. Another purpose of the skeleton is for support. And a third purpose is for movement. Remember those different types of joints? Those joints allow us to move. We can reach out with our hand because of the hinge joint, which is found between our lower arm and our upper arm. But what types of skeleton are there? Well, there are three, which we're going to be looking at now. The first type is called an endoskeleton. Animals with endoskeletons have skeletons on the inside of their bodies. Like humans, you can see here, this is the skeleton of a child. So children, like all humans, have endoskeletons, but so do some other animals. Now you can tell from the word endoskeleton, endo means inside in Greek. As the animal grows, so does their skeleton. If you think about yourself, we all started off as babies, didn't we? So we started off with smaller skeletons and we've grown. You've kept growing. Now you're in year 3. Your skeleton is bigger than when you first started as a baby. Of course, because that has helped you as you've grown through your life. So as we've seen, people are a type of animal that have endoskeletons. Can you think of any other animals that have endoskeletons? Skeletons on the inside of their bodies. Well, elephants also have endoskeletons because their skeletons are inside their bodies like us. Endoskeletons are lighter, they don't weigh as much as exoskeletons. Now we're going to find out what an exoskeleton is now. Animals with exoskeletons have their skeletons on the, what do you think? Not on the inside, but on the outside, just like this butterfly. Exoskeletons do not grow with the animal, unlike our type of skeleton. Therefore, the animal has to shed its skeleton and produce a whole new one. So an example of an animal with an exoskeleton is a scorpion. Can you think of any other examples? Here's one. This is a beetle that you would find in the rainforest. Now this beetle is an example of another animal with an exoskeleton. Its body, its skeleton is on the outside. And also the word exoskeleton, that X, like exit, it can help us remember that the skeleton is on the outside. The third type of skeleton we're looking at is the hydrostatic skeleton. Animals with hydrostatic skeletons don't actually have any bones at all. How mad is that? Like this slug here. Instead, these animals have a fluid or liquid-filled area in their body called a coelom. All animals with hydrostatic skeletons are invertebrates. That means they don't have a backbone. So you know how we were talking about how we have a spine to support us? These types of animals don't have anything like a spine. So can you think of any animals with a hydrostatic skeleton? We've got a slug here. A jellyfish is another example. That one doesn't have any bones either. And worms also have hydrostatic skeletons. So What are the 3 skeleton types again? On the left, we have a human. What type of skeleton would a human have? Was that the exoskeleton, was it? With the skeleton on the outside? No, exactly. It's the endoskeleton. Remember, endo meaning inside, endoskeleton meaning humans and some other animals have their skeletons on the inside. What about for this rainforest beetle? What kind of skeleton does that have? It has an exoskeleton. Exoskeleton is on the inside? No, exactly. An exoskeleton meaning a skeleton is on the outside. And what about this octopus? What type of skeleton does the octopus have? Exactly. It has a hydrostatic skeleton. Can you think of an example of an animal with an exoskeleton, an endoskeleton, or a hydrostatic skeleton? Can you think of any other ones that we haven't seen here today? Well, that's something that you can think about for your WALT that you'll be doing this week. See you next time. Bye.